God bless you guys. This is Sean here. I just want to come on here again and tell you, whoever you are, guys, I don't hate any of you. I don't hate anybody. I I love people. I have a fiery nature about me. You know, I'm doing these prophecies, all these this book of Harvest, 227 chapters. It's a lot, and I'm doing it for the sake of the entire church as a whole. I don't want anybody to be lost, and it's a lot. It takes a lot of stuff, that's on my plate that I'm trying to do. And I oftentimes get, sometimes I even get 3 hours of sleep trying to do this stuff. And so, I'm pretty fire when it comes to, some people have more patience with the wicked than I do. Everybody is different, but I love them and everything, but they have to be be rebuked harshly so they can understand what they're doing. And I think in this modern day church, we don't deal with a lot of those issues. We kind of leave them unharmed, and if they're not dealt with, like Saul was told to put to death when they brought in their armies. He was told to kill everything, but they took the spoil, they took the animals, they took the wild beasts. They were told to kill them, and so it cost Saul his kingdom. And some of the children of Israel, they were told to put to death certain armies, and they didn't. And those armies grew up with them, and they were the thorn in their side. And that thorn in Paul's side, he was mentioning, they said in a heaven testimony, it was actually a brother who was on his case, and God was saying, my grace is sufficient with you. So we find out it wasn't a sin that he was struggling with, it was a person, And we servants like me, we get that to keep us humble and everything. But God is dealing, in these days, he's dealing with those kind of servants that are thorns in their side, because he has to pick the thorns out so he can get his two witnesses, his great body of believers, ready for all these things. And they have to be ready for this. What's about to come is going to be upon the whole world, and there's a certain level of accountability we have to have even maybe a few months past, it would have been acceptable, but we've crossed over into a line, and I don't know exactly what's going to happen in September, guys, but there could very well be some things in September. I will tell you again, guys, with that sign. Yes, I did say originally I was going to wait until October 6th to share it, but God didn't specifically tell me to wait to share it, and then he told me to just do the prophecies then. That was my own judgment that I made. But I will say this, I tried to wait until then, but I accidentally blurted out in one of the videos, because I have so many things. I mean, just understand, guys, sometimes like I said, I get 3 hours of rest sometimes, and I'm doing all these prophecies, and I'm trying to share little things to get you ready without everything. And I did share some things. But it's the point of it is not to try to keep a bunch of stuff hidden and everything. The point of it is I'm trying to get it all ready for October for you guys, so then you can know that to be ready for October 6th. And I'll have to say, guys, I just want to forewarn you ahead of time. This book is going to be more fiery than even Isaiah or any of the other prophets. It's almost like the fullness representative of all of them. And yes, there is grace for the servants of God. Just like Isaiah, he had positive stuff in his prophecies. There's a lot of positive stuff. There's a lot of building up, calling out to you, two witnesses, Philadelphia and Smyrna, that are spiritually part of those churches. And there's great potential, but the reason why it's fiery, it's because it's got to burn all that out. And it's got to be most fiery to burn all that out. And it's not that God doesn't have any grace or any mercy on anybody at all. It's just he's taken us to a whole new level. And you guys got to get that power and that rod in your hand that I'm carrying and I'm about to lift up. You got to get that rod in your hand. And so to get that rod in your hand, you have to have a zero, sin compromise kind of mentality and lifestyle. And you got to seek God and pray to him and everything. And I know it's challenging and it's hard, and these things aren't easy to hear always, but it's for the betterment of the entire church. Once we get this power it's going to be we're going to really change the world. We've always tried to change the world without that kind of power that the disciples had. And it's not going to be for like a show or a hokey kind of thing, or magic tricks. These are going to be plagues that you guys need to be pouring out on the world to get them on their knees. And I know that conflicts with modern day Christianity to say you win over people with your love, but love is giving your entire self to somebody, and God is dealing with them with a different way of his love than he's ever has been before, because if he doesn't do it, they would be given over to the Antichrist, and God doesn't want to have to do that, so he's got to judge us this way. And so, you know, there's going to be a lot of disruptions. I mean, if there's disruptions with just one of me, just me, can you imagine an entire group of people doing the same works I'm doing? But it would also save a lot of people. And I hate to say it, but it says that first sign when he pours out that sign of that 3 days of darkness, it talks about in the book of Revelation they didn't repent of their deeds. But I would think that there would be a remnant. There is going to be a remnant that's going to repent. But it does say that they don't repent of their deeds overall. So that tells me we need more people, guys, into this thing. And I love you guys. And I know this stuff is hard to hear. And it's hard to conceive how we could ever enter a kind of shift like this. But it's written of the book of Revelation. And the end doesn't always come with a big bang. It starts sometimes. God can give a word. We really never have been through this before to know what it looks like. But this 3 days of darkness is going to come with a huge, before that darkness, I mean, or I should say what causes that darkness is great. But I love you guys. I'm praying for you always. Please be ready for this on October 6th and everything. This book is a book of fire, but it'll bring you through it if you have faith, guys. I love you. Till next time, shalom.